Thanks, John. Okay, first up for the day, so hopefully this will help wake you up from last night. Okay, APNIC update. Let's get underway. So the APNIC region, for those of you who are not familiar, we cover 56 economies in the Asia-Pacific region as far west as Afghanistan, all the way through to remote Pacific islands in the east. It's a very big region, multiple time zones, multiple cultures, very diverse. Our membership has continued to grow over the years. We are now, on this slide here, you can see we're just under 16,000 end of 2018. We're now just over 16,000. We have national internet registries within our region. Some of those predate APNIC, which is sort of unique amongst the RIRs. So in terms of direct membership, it's around 7,000, and then membership through the NIRs is around 8,000, all up around 15 at the end of last year, but it's about 16 now. In terms of the delegation statistics, as you can see on screen here, everything is still, to an extent, moving up and to the right. We had a dip in 2017 across most of our metrics in terms of delegations. V4, as you can see, has flattened off a bit, which is interesting. V6 continues to rise, and of course, V4 transfers continue to rise. Not as many as in the ARIN region, but transfers are still a big deal in the APNIC region as well. In terms of the resource holding across our members, the good news here, there's probably a stat to highlight, is the V6 number continues to grow. 62% of our members have a V6 allocation, which is great, and we continue to work to make sure that they actually announce those allocations. The survey, I just want to touch on this quite quickly. We do a survey every 2 years of our membership base and the community to find out what they think of us, how we're going, are we performing, but also to get information from them on what we can do to serve them better and what are their challenges. We had a really good response last year with more than 1,200 responses. A third of those were in languages other than English, which is great. The survey results themselves, I'm not going to go through them today because obviously it would take forever, but if you go to that link, apnic.net/survey, you'll find all of the survey materials there and the reports. There's some interesting stuff in there. Probably the two of the biggest findings, well, a good finding was that the members actually were pretty pleased with our performance, which was nice. But more importantly, we found out things that they want us to continue to invest in. Security and training were two of those areas, and I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing in those areas in a moment. Policy. So this is probably the most boring slide of my whole deck, but it's actually got the most information in it that you'll probably be interested in. So of the proposals that have gone ahead to the members in the past year and a bit, probably the ones to talk about, Prop 125, which was validation of the abuse mailbox and other IRT emails. I note that this is a proposal, or similar proposal has been put forward in the ARIN region. This reached consensus at APNIC 46. We're now in the process of implementation. That will happen over 2 phases to occur by the end of this year. But most recently at Daejeon in Korea, at our most recent meeting this year, there was 3 policies reached consensus, but 2 that are probably of the most interest to you is that our minimum allocation size from the final /8, 103/8 has been reduced to a /23. It used to be a /22. And alongside that, we maintain a waiting list where all of our recovered IPv4 space is put, and that waiting list in the APNIC region can request a /22, a maximum /22 from that waiting list. And what that waiting list has been abolished. Well, not yet, it will. The implementation period for that policy will be within 3 months as per the PDP. However, the maximum delegation for 103/8 has been immediate, so that is in force now. What this means is that in the past, an APNIC member could have one allocation from the final /8 and one allocation from to a maximum /22 from both the final/8 and from the waiting list. With the waiting list now being, going to be abolished, it will mean that they can only get one allocation from the final/8 of /23. Most of our existing members have actually done that, so realistically speaking, this is mostly now new members would get that allocation. We do a lot of work in the region, a lot of external engagements. I'm not going to go through this slide, I'll talk through them in a moment. We try to spread our activities across our 4 sub-regions, which are South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and Oceania, in a number of different areas. Training is a big one. We do a lot of training in the region, both face-to-face and actually online as well. Training is a big deal for our members. It's something that they've requested constantly in our surveys. It's something they want us to continue. So we try to get around the region and provide as much training as we possibly can, as humanly possible with our resources. We also participate quite a lot in the technical community, obviously within our region. We participated in 21 NOG events this year. I think there's, from memory, I think there's about 17 or 18 NOGs in our region. So they keep us busy. We also invest our staff time in providing advice and also sponsoring equipment for root servers and IXPs in the region. We also this year have been spending a bit more time building a closer relationship with the research and education community. And we did some training for the first time at the APAN meetings and have been working closely with them. On the security front, so when I say security for APNIC, it means that most of our work is done in forms of training and advice and technical assistance that we provide. So we also have made sure that we have been including more security content in our conferences. We've done that in partnership with FIRST, which is the Forum for Incident Response Teams. For the past few years, we have made sure that they hold a one-day conference as part of the APNIC conference or the APRICOT conference. That content is now being embedded into the main program, which is good. We want to make sure that our members are exposed to that information and are getting that input. But at the same time, we are doing a lot of training in the region. We're contributing to the establishment of new certs in the region. Tonga was the first one that we had a hand in providing advice and technical assistance with. Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu were the other 2 last year. We also did a lot of work in PNG ahead of the APEC meeting, which was held there last year, in terms of providing training and technical assistance to make sure that they felt ready for that meeting. And security continues to be a big focus for us. We continue to invest in it, and it's something our members want us to keep doing. The conferences, I've mentioned them a few times. The last 2 were APNIC 46 was in Noumea, New Caledonia, an island paradise, not unfamiliar to this one. And the last one was in Daejeon in South Korea, which was much colder earlier this year. The attendance has tended to be strong, continue to be strong actually at the conferences. Our remote participation numbers continue to rise as well, which is a good thing. It's something that we've tried hard to grow, because we obviously understand that our members, it's a big region and they can't travel to all of our conferences. RPKI, I probably won't go into too much detail on this slide, apart from the fact just to say that RPKI continues to be a focus for APNIC. It's something which we'll be doing a lot more on this year in terms of training, education, and encouraging our members to basically certify their resources and get their rowers. We've had a campaign going for a few years called Ready to Rower with the old tiger down the bottom there. But if you'll see from our numbers, it is growing in our region, which is good, albeit from a low base. And we want that to continue to grow, and we're already seeing that this year. So it's something that it's going to be a big focus for us this year and into the future. I mentioned training before. APNIC Academy, I just want to call this out. This is an online learning portal where you can do self-paced training. We relaunched it in August 2018 with all HTML5. It's if you haven't had a look at it and you're interested, there's plenty of courses on there. It's free. It's self-paced. There's a mix of technical courses. There's also a policy PDP course if you'd like to learn about the APNIC PDP. We have had a number of people enrol, a good number, 1,500 last year. There's also virtual labs there where people can go and test out what they've learned on some virtual labs across different vendor equipment. And new courses are coming soon. So this is another one of our investments that came via feedback from the APNIC survey, where our members were telling us that they needed to have access to online training as well as face-to-face and be able to do it in their own time, which is the reason for the Academy. The blog, I'd like to just quickly mention the blog because it's close to my heart. We started the blog in August 2014 as a way to better communicate APNIC's announcements, but it also, one of the other main reasons why we started it was to make sure that we provided a place for the community to share its news and views, because there wasn't really a place for that to happen. And it has been a raging success. We've been extremely happy with it. We publish every day, apart from weekends. We have a mix of posts that are from APNIC and from the community, around 50% from the community. And when I say the numbering community, I don't just mean the APNIC community, but globally. We have authors from all around the world. If you haven't been to the blog before, I recommend you go and have a look. I'm sure there'll be something there that takes your interest. And if you have story ideas or anything you'd like to share, then get in touch, because as I mentioned, we still see this as a global resource rather than just an Asia-Pacific APNIC resource. Finally, just touch on the foundation. We established the foundation 2 years ago. As I mentioned before with our training, we have a lot of demand for training, and we can't necessarily meet that demand for training through member funds and through our own resources. So the foundation was established to help us increase our development activities without having to rely on our member funds. There are 2 staff who have been seconded to the foundation from APNIC, which is Duncan McIntosh and Sylvia Cadena. The board was appointed last year. We now have we have appointed 2 new members, Michael Malone and Danish Lakhani, this year. So we now have a full board, actually not a full board. I think we've still got spaces for 1 or 2 more. But the first AGM was held last year, second meeting was coming up. And it's been a success so far. The foundation raised over $1 million Australian in its first year for projects, and we're hoping to continue that success to help us fund activities that we're doing. Most of the activities so far that have been funded have been in the Pacific, which is great, but we need to continue this to make sure that we're sort of meeting the demand for the training and development activities in our region. And the last thing I wanted to say was join us. Our next conference will be in Chiang Mai in Thailand in September. The dates there, 5th to the 12th, that includes our workshops. So the actual conference week, or conference days, are the 10th to the 12th of September. Chiang Mai is a beautiful place, as you can see. Lots of lovely temples, great food, elephants, all sorts of good stuff. And you can also go to a conference as well and talk about internet numbering stuff. And you can fit that in alongside the rest of it. But please do come along. We'd love to see you there. It should be a great conference. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Tony? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.